Hello, princesses, and welcome back to Not Fit for Print Beauty with me, Rebecca. Today we're going to look at another brand new offering. I swear, boy, every video I do lately is new products. My goodness. Today we're looking at new products from Dior Backstage. We have two new Dior Backstage eyeshadow palettes, the Dior Backstage Burgundy and the Dior Backstage Khaki Neutrals. Each one are $49. We're going to try them both on and swatch them in two different lights. I also picked up from the Dior Addict line, the Dior Addict Lip Glow in Minty Rose. That was $38 and is basically chapstick, but we'll talk about that in just a minute. Okay, the Dior Quints are all I seem to ever hear anyone talk about. And can I just release an unpopular opinion? It's just the two of us, right? I think they're kind of similar all the time. I'm always like, wait a minute, why am I looking at last season? Oh, it's new. Yeah, I think I like my Dior Quints. I don't end up reaching for them a lot. And please tell me if I'm wrong. I don't mind. I'm happy to get in a dialogue about it. You could tell me why I'm wrong, go for it, or tell me if you agree. Either way, I welcome it. I just am never that excited. Sometimes the Dior Quint comes along that really moves me, but for the most part they don't. But you know what, I do like the Backstage line, and I know it's the lower line of Dior. Ooh, forgive me, but I do really like it. I just always like the packaging, which is a little more maybe youthful and fun, and I think they do interesting things with the color that they focus on for each palette. These two are interesting. Let's look at them, and I'll tell you why they're a little different, just a little different than some we've been seeing lately. Again, a little bit cheaper packaging, no mirror. I'm okay with that. I don't know about you. As usual, just like every other Dior Backstage palette, they have an eye primer. And in our two looks today, I'm going to use the eye primer with one and not with the other, because really, it just depends on my mood. But it is a good eye primer. I just don't always reach for it, but you know what I'm saying. That's a Rebecca thing. Okay, so let's look first. We're going to do the Burgundy first. Let me just show it to you first in the pan, okay? I was worried about this being a little hay fever red, and let me tell you, when I was swatching it, this guy right here, this red shade in the middle, they do have names. That red shade in the middle was really kind of wanting to get into the, I wish they hadn't put it right below this. We're going to talk about this little topper shade in a second, but I wish they hadn't put it right below it because he does like to travel, let me tell you. But these others, and you'll see they weren't on the eye as I feared they would be. But that is actually, I kind of gave away the secret of what I was going to talk about there. These have a little bit of a topper shade right here. In this palette, in the Burgundy palette, it's kind of a golden one. And in the Khaki palette, it's a little bit more snowy. So this is for the Burgundy, it's a little golder. It's a little cooler for the Khaki one, interestingly enough. But they are like a little bit of a celestial topper shade that we don't usually get in a Dior Backstage palette. We do, like I said, though, we do get the eye primer. But that little kind of, and I want to say it's like a celestial topper shade because it could work on its own, but it really kind of needs the color under it. I am wearing it here, so you are getting a preview, and I will use it in both demos. Okay, let's take a look at the Khaki in the palette. Then we'll take these inside, outside, all that good stuff. Here is the Khaki. We have that celestial topper shade that we just saw, and this one right here, which is, of course, the eye primer. And then all the other shades in there. You've got lots of different greens, and I got lots to say about this, and some green leading browns, and then some kind of mustardy, yellowy golds that really work well with the Khakis. This was the palette of the two that I am most excited about, and you'll hear my thoughts on it after the demo. Let's look at some swatches, and I did not do them together because I thought maybe you would be considering the palettes separately, so I didn't want to muddy the waters. Here is the Burgundy on its own in studio lighting. Take a look at that there. There it is on its own in studio lighting, the Burgundy. Very, very beautiful. And then let's take the Burgundy outside into the warm California sunshine. Take a look at it outside. Very beautiful as well. I just think outside is when these things really come to life and you see what you look like to the rest of the world as you walk around during the day or night. Okay, and then let's take our Khaki Neutrals palette and look at that inside in studio lighting first. I really like this one. I think you guys can tell I'm excited about this Khaki Neutrals palette. And then take them outside the khakis into the warm California sunshine. There they are on my arm. Both of these palettes are laid out in the exact order that you will find them in the palettes. The reason there is a shade missing up top on each one swatched is simply because I didn't feel I needed to swatch the eye primer. Tell me if I'm wrong, but I doubt that you needed that. And like I said in the demo, I will use the primer with one look and not with the other because you know, it's up to you if you need it or not. By the way, if I didn't say these are $49 each, $38 was this adorable new little Dior Addict lip glow. It's really, really pretty. I got it in Minty Rose because I was like, Minty Rose? I kind of got excited that it was green, and I thought that with it being green, it would kind of go pink, kind of like Tom Ford likes to do this gimmick. I saw Tom Ford hit another one. You know, it's clear and it's got like flecks. The last one was clear and it had flecks of gold. And the new Tom Ford one is clear with flecks of platinum. They both always, you know, any of those pH balancing ones always turn a hideous shade of pink that generally doesn't look good on anyone. I have gotten one Tom Ford one that is a gimmicky pH one that actually looked good. Most of them don't. So I am currently trying to restrain myself from buying the new one with the platinum flecks. Tell me if you bought it and if it went ugly pink. This one I kind of thought would do that because I'm like, ooh, it's green. But it doesn't. It doesn't. But let me show you what it does do. It's essentially a lip balm. It's a nice lip balm though. It's a $38 chapstick basically. So I don't think I needed that one. But I will throw it in my bag and use it. I'm always looking for something nice on the lips. It does have a kind of a chocolatey minty scent to it. And without the mint tingle on the lip. You know, so it has its merits, but I'm just saying, so does chapstick, and it's not $38. But, you know, so that's not my favorite thing. Let's go ahead and go now. I've gone on enough about that. You get the idea. Let's go now to the demo, and then we'll talk about what I think in case you're trying to kind of narrow this down in terms of what you're purchasing for the holidays. Stay right. A little bit scared about how red this is, but let's go for it. And we'll put the sparkle on top. Here is a refer number 1. Of course, can't believe I had to check the back. Start right here. Switching over here to a refer number 12. And much less red than I had expected. No hay fever look to it. Very pretty. Let's try the one I've really been excited about. Stay right there. Okay, on this one I'm going to use the primer too because really you could do it either way. And it just depends on my mood in that morning. So today, with this one, since we're going to kind of use this one for the rest of the video, I am going to put on some of the primer. And it is a very nice eye primer, actually. I have gone into these palettes before to get the eye primer out to use with other shadows, actually. It's a nice primer, it really is. I just don't always make time for it, I admit. Okay, taking a fluffy Refer 16, let's do this. Let's go underneath. Okay, let's get into this green. Woo! Use some brush. This is a pretty green palette. What do you think? Okay, to me, this is going to be a definitive green palette. What do I mean by that? When I was having trouble with purple palettes, I had never really liked the Lila from Natasha Denona. There was a lot I just didn't like in terms of purple. Never appealed to me. Some of the Norvinas were very purple. Just didn't really appeal to me. And then I found the Violette from Voyeur, and it changed the way I viewed purple. I think, and of course it's a little early to tell, but I feel like this green from Dior, this kind of khaki palette from Dior, is going to be a definitive green palette for people. There are, if you've light green or you have brown eyes, I have green eyes and it's working, but if you have hazel eyes, brown eyes, green eyes, and even blue, really, any color eyes, there might be some greens you like and some you don't. I like the mixture of this with the gold. I didn't even go into this mustardy gold shade, but there are so many different brown greens, khakis, and greens. There's a lot to choose from and a lot of neutrals to base it off of as well. And I just think this could be your definitive green palette. There's a lot out there to choose from right now. And though I do like these two together as a very holiday color story of green and red, I do think that if you are looking to choose one new one, this green khaki is the one to get. I just think it's a very superb greens done well palette. All right, let me know, of course, what you guys think and what you think of these two looks. Maybe you prefer the more kind of burgundy shade on me. You need to let me know your thoughts below. We are, after all, a community. Did you pick either one of these up? Did you pick up any of the new lip? Anything like that, let me know your thoughts down below. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and I sure hope that you did. If you haven't already done so, do make sure that you subscribe to my channel so that we can keep getting the word out. I would love to see y'all over on Instagram and TikTok too, so come say hi. And if you want behind the scenes content and members only lives, make sure that you join and become a member. There's a join button somewhere around this video and also a link down below in the description bar, plus links to all the products we talked about today. And I hope to see all of you in the next video. Bye-bye.